すみません。旅サピアありますか？
サイズ
サイズはUK 11。
4枚と5枚小刃でここの留め具が4か5、
はい、
サイズがあっても一番マックスで28、2センチ小さい。
OK です。
いいですか？履けます？
いいです。
足袋ってこうなってて、ここで留め具つけるんですけど
大丈夫です。
大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫です。
返品できないですけど大丈夫ですか？
はい、大丈夫です。
いいです。一番じゃあ大きい28センチいいですか？
Yep.
OK。
It's okay. Yep. No. It's the biggest one they have. 28. Try now?
Okay, try. It has some.
Oh. Alright. Done. Fits. Right?
Good. Would you like to start to put the text and make pages?
So this, I think the text is one thing we can definitely work on and
Yeah, you
finish
can
by
pick
next
from
week.
there. Yeah. Italian がある。はい。
じゃない。No, say it's a bookstore.
Yeah.
It's a
Second
vinyl store, maybe.
hand bookstore. Oh, that's so nice. The black and white.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Maybe not good.
Architecture ASMR. Hello guys, today Inose brought me to the Shizuoka Broadcasting Center, designed by Kenzo Tange. It's one of the most important architecture that's been built in the past century. A very prominent piece of architecture in the metabolist era. Behold. It's a single spine, so you have the core structure in the center, and these cubes just like cantilever off each other. But apparently they balance out, so the both sides like balance each other. So like the single beam will go across. It's been painted over, I think, because originally it's brown, right? Brown kind of structure of paint, but now it's like black, and they changed the windows, so it looks kind of like modern now. So even after so many decades, it still looks pretty new. I'm the worst presenter ever.
In Ginza, the first floor is most expensive and most commercial.
Yeah.
So it is impossible to put some brand in first floor. And next is second floor, and next is third floor.
Right.
So she even tried
思い出せ
to
なか
make
ったんだ。
entrance, whole entrance in first floor, and they can reach each floor. So it's very fair for each one. They can enter from first floor for each round.
それとずっとこうバランスを取りながらこの工夫ができた。
So nowadays, human body becomes not taller, but then still we traditionally keep this size.
息を吐きながら足をこう少し息を前足をかけて真横を向きます。高井さんおいやというこの声は銀高井さんおいやこのラムネに
このスタジオは応用環境デザインという大学
Today I'll be talking about a mixed-use development project proposed for the Old Medina located in Marrakesh. I'm just going to touch on a little bit about the architecture history or the features so that you can see how that has influenced our proposal. Traditional city planning did not follow like a rigid structure as often seen in the West or Europe. Instead, it followed the decree of the Sharia law, which are a set of customs, laws that governs the way of life of Islamic people. Therefore, if you see the city, the Old Medina, from the top, can kind of tell it's like a chaotic composition. What you can like discern from the top is probably the mosque, which is like the most important structure in Islamic cities. So this is the most famous mosque in Marrakesh, and it's right next to the site. It's called Katoubia. And another feature, architecture feature in Morocco are the corridors. They are narrow and winding to limit public movement and also restrict sunlight from penetrating through to the surface level. Now, if you ever get confused when navigating these corridors, you can always look to one of the minarets of the mosque and use it as like a guiding principle. A riad is what they call the traditional residential housing. It has a central courtyard and a veranda as well. Then the interior spaces surround the outer circle. Now, these are the interior courtyards. They're the main source of sunlight and ventilation because there's minimal facade openings on the exterior for privacy reasons. Now, this is a souk, which is a commercial marketplace. They're more structured. Shops face each other with the street in the middle, and the streets are often shaded with some sort of thatch roofing to provide a more comfortable environment to, shop and interact. However, they are not completely shaded to allow some sunlight to get through because sunlight is a very important part of Islamic culture because Muslims pray 5 times a day according to the position of the sun. And also, the most interesting thing we found was that the urban growth, housing growth was not sustainable in Medina right now due to the increase in population density. The riads have been subdivided into smaller apartments, therefore the opening has been closed off, so there's no sunlight and there's no ventilation, therefore leading to health issues. Now, the main thing we want to introduce is the mixed-use development typology to maximize the most efficient use of space due to the increased population density, as said earlier. We first divided the site into 4 blocks, A, B, C, and D. So block A, in front here, you got the gallery, behind it is the retail areas on the ground floor, and on top are the rooftop restaurants, cafes. Then block B, you got an open market space below, and you got recreational football courts and gym up top. Block C, you have retail areas, office areas first and second, and apartments on the third and fourth. There's a growing issue of independent bookstores being evicted in Medina, so block D will serve as a replacement, and also in between the bookstores, they will have a co-working space. Now, we split the entire thing down the middle to create a central courtyard to maintain a consistent visual connection from the Jama'afna Square all the way to the minaret of the Katoubia. And on top of that, it allows us to bring in sufficient sunlight into the interiors and facilitate cross ventilation.
Minaret.
The minaret, yeah.
Yeah. これがタワー。 That's a very important access to see.
I was just thinking of Miyashita Park.
Miyashita Park?
Yeah, I just kind of studied how
I see,
Miyashita
I
was
see.
done.
It also reminded me that 表参道の
Ometazono Hills.
表参 hills, yes.
What's on hill Nando's
Yeah, yeah.
This courtyard is really it's open and they can see this direction, showing the direction.
Could you explain again about how you divide this into 4 blocks A, B, C, D, and why you locate the restaurant at the block A? And I think at the block D, you propose something like office or co-working space.
I put like an art gallery there because I wanted to stop some of the noise going into the development. Because art gallery usually is like closed off, right? There's no much openings, and then I thought this would be a good place to put a rooftop restaurant to get a nice view of the mosque, the Ketubia. But then I put a co-working space there, not there, because that's a busy area. The highway's there.
結構同じだから組みやすいやみたいなそういうこともあった。
Having one day off the week was not having that was very good.